Wah! Hoo-wah!
Oh, it's time for the podcast. Everything's going crazy. Yeah. Man. Boy, oh boy, what a week in generic sports. So I swore off March Madness, and I caved like a little girl, and I filled out a bracket, and I posted my bracket on the Twitters, and it's busted just like everybody else's after the Duke loss and after the Villanova loss. I think last time I checked, I was like at 49%, which was ranked like 9.7 millionth. I just, I'm at 49%. Just to take a look at it. I have Kansas, Purdue, and Oregon still alive. I've got Florida still alive. Ooh, that's rough. That's it in the East. And then I've got West Virginia, Gonzaga, Butler, North Carolina, UCLA, and Arizona still alive. I whiffed on Xavier winning. I whiffed on I thought Wichita State was going to beat Kentucky, which they damn near did. So, it is what it is. I think I did okay. I still have the Zags going to be the champion. This is my first one, and I haven't watched really any of the games. I've been watching the highlights, and it's fun watching the highlights. I don't have any interest in watching these games. I did attempt to watch. I don't even remember what game it was. Was it Baylor USC? I think I watched, and it's unwatchable to me for some reason. I don't know. I just look at it and go, "Blip, I don't want to watch this. This doesn't make me feel nice." I got no interest. And LeVar Ball is a clown, and it's funny. It's funny. I mean, it's fun to watch this guy who scored 2 points. He scored 2 points in the NBA, which was Charles Barkley's big knock on him. Nobody who scored 2 points in the NBA per game is gonna beat me at 1-on-1, right? So, and he's coming out talking about how he would beat Michael Jordan on 101 and all this other crap. It's really whatever. You're talking shit for the sake of talking shit because you have a camera in front of you. Fine, I totally get that. You're making a little name for yourself. You're trying to build a brand with all three of these Ball brothers. And hey, you know what? If you can get yours, go get yours. That's my opinion on it. He's a jackass, and I don't particularly like him. I think he's just saying shit just to say shit. But I do that all the time. I talk shit for no reason all the time. There's not a guy out there that is being honest that doesn't talk shit. And that's what he's doing. And it's just, you walk into a barbershop, and that's the kind of stuff you hear. That's men. That's that. If I was still in my prime, I'd wreck this dude. I would have beat Magic. All this stuff is just regular guy stuff. I don't know why everybody's all upset about it. If they are upset, it's dumb to be upset. Just say, that's funny, and move on. And guess what? He never gets as popular as he is right now. He never does. And you're giving him the power by getting all inflamed over something that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. The same thing with all this Kaepernick bullshit. The only reason why this guy's still relevant is because the whole country was up in arms over what he was doing when he was on the 49ers. Monster break. I just poured Monster in my shirt. That's a good start to the morning. So if you guys don't know, I wake up to do this podcast at about 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:45-ish. It's not as early as some of the guys do. I mean, I know the Mike and Mike guys and all this other stuff, they get up at like 2 in the morning or whatever. But I also have a full-time job and a second job. So I get up at 4:45. I do this podcast for an hour. I do my job for 8 hours, and then I go home. So on top of that, on the weekends, I also have a different job. So I work a lot. So every once in a while, I'll pour fucking Monster out my shirt. That's how it happens. That's where it manifests. I'm a slob. I work my ass off, but I can't fucking take care of myself. So, yeah, so it's the same shit with all this Colin Kaepernick stuff. So, just to let's walk it back from the very beginning here. Colin Kaepernick is on the bench behind Blaine Gabbert. Remember who Blaine Gabbert is for a second. Remember that Blaine Gabbert is scared of his own shadow. And this is his last ditch effort to be in the NFL at all because he's so terrible. He was drafted by the Jags before Bortles. He's just awful, and he couldn't stay upright. So he ends up on the 49ers, and Chip Kelly's there, and Chip Kelly's got Kaepernick, and Kaepernick actually has good quarterback numbers under Chip Kelly, but so did Sam Bradford, so did Nick Foles. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. Those are inflated. They're falsely, they're falsely enlarged. So you get to look at the stats instead of the win losses. You can kind of get buried in it because. But even so, you've got a 59% accuracy rating and you've got a sub 500 winning record over the last 3 years. You're not a good football. You're not a good quarterback. You're not a good quarterback. It doesn't mean you're not a good football player. You're not a good leader. And we know that Colin Kaepernick isn't a good leader. He's a great poster child for not being an asshole. You know? I just nothing is wrong to me. I'm a veteran. I've got buddies who's veterans. I got deployed. I did all the stuff, right? Him kneeling during the national anthem didn't bother me at all. I don't really care. But that's the problem. There's a lot of people who care too much about shit they shouldn't care about. Be patriotic. I'm patriotic. I joined the military because I love the country that I live in. Okay? So I get it. But you got to dial it back a little bit because if you give validity to these people who just want a name for themselves, then they're going to you get all riled up and you say this guy's an asshole and he doesn't love our country. And then it becomes a news story. And as soon as it becomes a news story, you're fucked. Because that's all you're going to hear about. And when he was doing this, despite football happening, that's all we fucking heard about. It dominated the news. It dominated ESPN because you know my feelings about that. And because ESPN so fucking desperately wants to be a political station. And so you've got this cross-sectioning of politics and sports, and people are just gobbling it up on one side or the other. Either this guy's a hero and he's fighting for our rights, or this guy's a bastard and he doesn't love our country. Well, if you just say, okay, kneel, then it goes away. I don't get it. So anyway, he's a backup quarterback. He kneels. He's hardly even noticed. Somebody notices it and then asks him why. My opinion and my guess in the back of my head, he goes home at night. He kneels and he goes home at night and he's talking to his girlfriend And his girlfriend, and he's like, man, I kneeled and I need a reason. And I was just, my leg was hurting and I was just kneeling because I felt bad and I just wanted to take a break. But now everybody thinks it's a political statement. What should I do? Well, you should blow it the fuck out. Why not? If everybody already thinks it's a political statement because that's what you lied about, I think that it was trumped up. I think that it was fabricated after the fact. I think that there's a high possibility of him going, oh, well, I stood up for civil rights and police brutality. And then he didn't realize how big it was going to get, and it got out of control. It got way past his hands. So I think that he's way too deep, and now he's got to own it because now he's a part of it, and he grew out his fro. So now go ahead and do whatever the fuck it is you want to do, man. But don't sit here and whine and complain and talk to your boy Spike Lee about how you're being blackballed. Your numbers suck. You're just not worth it, man. I mean, if look at Tyreek Hill. This is the bullshit that Jamel Hill and Michael Smith, who are the worst people on ESPN, they just don't give. They're just bad. They're just bad at their jobs. I just don't like them at all. They're well, you can beat a woman and still be in the NFL, but you can't stand up for black rights and be in the NFL. No, that's not what it's about. You know why Tyreek Hill is playing in the NFL? Because he's really good. That's the only reason. The only reason why these guys are still in the league, that you've got your what's the defensive end for the Cowboys, Greg, whatever his fucking name was. Hope he, rots in prison. Throws the chick on the bed full of guns or whatever. It's he was good, so he got to play more. Albert Hainsworth was a terrible person. He got to play more and got fat contracts even though he wouldn't work out. He wouldn't even do his job, and he was so good at it. He wouldn't practice. He's like Allen Iverson. Practice? We're talking about practice? No. It's if you're good at your job, this shit doesn't matter, and that's called sports. That's called the NFL. If you don't like that, then say I don't like that. Don't try to split hairs on it. There's not a particular issue that these people are taking up with their NFL players, and they're not trying to divide by race. I think that the owners realize, however white bread and racist you think that they are, I think that they understand that these guys are making money for them. I think they get that. I don't think that they say, well, let's put a white boy in there, we'll make the same amount of money. I don't think that happens. You're crazy if you think that happens. Well, we're not gonna put up with any black people that protest. No, that's not what they talk about. They say, on my left hand, I've got a guy who has potential, has shown that he can be good, but hasn't been good in 3 to 4 seasons. And that same guy on my right hand is also causing a stir, media circus, headaches. I've got to answer extra questions because he's doing what he's doing. So the scale starts to tip. That is the only reason. Ray Rice isn't playing football because he wasn't good anymore. And he can come out and say, I'm not playing because I'm not playing because I'm a bad football player. Yeah, you didn't have a good season your last season. You weren't very good. So you got in trouble and you got kicked the fuck out. Deal with it, man. This is who you are now. I'm sorry that you're bad at your job. But don't try to make it something it's not. It's ridiculous. Donald Trump oh, please, Donald Trump, do all the shit that you're doing and start talking shit to Kaepernick, because the one person that I really need to get involved is the president of the fucking United States. Politics aside, stay the fuck out. You didn't fill out your stupid fill out your stupid March Madness bracket because probably you didn't know anything about it. So just stay out of sports, man. You got plenty of shit to do. Just you could take credit for the fact that he hasn't signed a team all you fucking want. Stay out of the media about it. Stay off of Twitter about it. Do your fucking job. Do your fucking job. I just can't fucking stand that shit. It's not even a political thing. It's not I hate Donald Trump or I love Donald Trump. I think that Donald Trump should stay the fuck away from this situation and any football-related situations at all. The fact that the government, in any sense of any term, is involved in any sport is ridiculous to me. The fact that the FBI has been searching for Tom Brady's Super Bowl jerseys is stupid to me. I get that, when something gets stolen, there's people who try to go find it. Bullshit. We all know that. How many of you have filled out a fucking police report and nothing's ever been done about it? They file it away so you can put it on your insurance and get some cash out of it. You're not going to get your thing back. But because it's Tom Brady and because it's the Super Bowl jerseys and Von Miller's helmet or whatever they fucking found, this Al Capone's vault full of fucking NFL memorabilia from Super Bowls that this Mexican sports reporter just started tucking away into his knapsack, just because we've uncovered this big thing, we've got to make it a victory. And I'm here in Houston, so I'm close to it. And the Chief Acevedo and all these guys are getting on TV to talk about Tom Brady's fucking jersey, and people are killing themselves in the goddamn streets out here. And we're too busy arresting fucking people for a gram of marijuana than we are helping people. Get your fucking priorities straight, man. This is stupid. It's so backwards that we spent any governmental resources on finding a fucking jersey. Let Tom Brady and his $1 billion hire somebody to go investigate it if it means that fucking much to him. There are private organizations that do that kind of shit. And it's not some secret born identity shit. You can look it up in the fucking yellow pages if you even don't have internet. You don't even need the internet to find one of these services. It's stupid. I don't have any hate for Tom Brady. He's a great player, and he's generally, in the public's eye, a pretty stand-up guy, a nice dude. You can talk about, he threw away his phone and he's a liar and all this other stuff. Fine. Okay? Great. But for the most part, he's a pretty decent human being. But I just don't think we've spent Supreme Court resources. We spent congressional resources on sports. You know why? Because there's this much money involved. And it's dumb. They can't govern themselves, so they look to the government and once again, your fucking tax dollar to pay to make decisions that in private organizations would be made internally. But because they need to scoop up all these stories, they need to start stirring the fucking pot. Because if the pot's not stirring, you're not watching. But guess what? It's costing you double and triple the money that it should be. That's why all this shit gets fucking ruined for me. Because you get like all the fucking hearings and the hearings and the hearings about these deflated balls and the hearings about steroids and all this other shit. It's just dumb. Well, I didn't do it. Well, I didn't do it. You did it. I didn't do it. I mean, come on. This is millions of dollars in your taxed income that you're watching. And you're watching them spend it instead of spending it on healthcare issues or whatever issue, pick one political issue that you care about. Instead of spending it on that, they're spending it on doing an investigation into Rafael Palmeiro because he did steroids. Holy shit. So now my taxes are going to pay for the stadiums that they play in. I have to buy tickets to the seats, even though I paid for the stadium out of my own pocket. I also have to pay for them to make decisions out of my income taxes. And by the way, when one of these guys gets suspended, they're never going to play, and I don't get to see them because of steroids or flat football. Give me a fucking break, man. Give me a fucking break. It's when are we gonna stop? When are we gonna stop? It's all fucking weaved around in this dirty, rotten, stinky fucking mess, and I'm sick and tired of watching it. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Speaking of people not playing, this is the newest controversy, the newest fucking story, and even though it's not new, is NBA players sitting. Monster break. Let's hope I don't fucking spill it on myself. All right, clean on that one. All right, so Adam Silver sends a memo. This is an extremely significant issue for our league. Warns teams they will suffer significant penalties if they don't provide adequate notice. So now we got to talk about what adequate notice means. So the issue is the issue here is that these guys are trying to ramp up for the playoffs, which every fan in the whole world of any team ever wants to see their team win championships. That's normal. They also want to see the best players on their team play when they buy tickets to the stadiums that they've already paid for out of their taxes. So now we've got this push-pull from the players, the owners, and the fans, and this media who is just an instigator at this point. The only thing that the media's role is doing is exacerbating this whole issue. So what they're saying is the fans want to see less of the NBA players sitting, and the owners, vis-a-vis or through the coaches, are saying, well, LeBron is 30-something years old, and if I play him 82 games plus the 4 series in the playoffs, he's going to play for 2 years and be out and be retired because his knees are going to be fucked. So, we can't reduce the number of games, and we can't reduce. Mike and Mike's idea was to reduce the playoffs. I don't think that's the last thing you should do. You should be reducing the number of regular season games because they don't fucking matter. They just don't matter. There's not enough games there. There's not enough games in the regular season that mean anything. So if you reduce the number of games or you stop playing back-to-backs, then you've kind of solved your problem a little bit. I mean, you've got your travel days and you're going to take a day off, or make people stay off the court only on home games, or say on home games if you're taking the night off, you have to play for 5 minutes. You got to play the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. Wiggle your ass for the fucking crowd. Because you're owned by the league. Sorry. You are employed by this league. We pay you. The reason why you have the platform you do, the reason why you have the money you do, the reason why you have the visibility and the brand awareness that you do is because of the NBA. So we own your ass. If it wasn't for us, you would be nothing. I don't understand why they don't use this leverage. It's because this union mentality bullshit. It's all about money in the end. And if we're not talking about money in the end, then we're not talking honesty. So I don't understand. And Adam Silver is the best GM across all leagues ever in the history of mankind, and we all know that. So he'll figure it out, right? I'm sure he will. But and he understands that his product is important, and he understands that people want to see the stars, and that's why he sent out this memo. But don't be surprised when, just like in football, guys start retiring earlier because they're playing all 82 games. And that's a good thing. This is a good thing. NBA needs faster turnover. They need that. I think it's better for the league. And yeah, you're not going to have your star power for longer, but you're going to have these younger guys, and the younger guys make it more exciting. The Giannis Greek Freak Antetokounmpo, or whatever his fucking name is, makes the game exciting because he's new. Nobody wants to watch LeBron James anymore. That's because that's why he's not getting the MVP award, or he would win it every year. Everybody's tired of LeBron James, even if they won't admit it. Oh, I want to go see him play. If he would come to Houston and I had the time or could afford it, I would go. I don't make that much money, but I would go if I had the means. I just don't want to pay for a fucking basketball ticket that I'm gonna watch on TV. I'd rather spend it on fucking guitar strings or food, or something that I give a shit about. But because it's fucking regular season and the games don't matter because we know who's gonna be in the playoffs. Well, how do you know who's gonna be in the playoffs if you don't play the regular season? You don't know who's gonna be below the 4 seed in the playoffs. But you know the top 4 every fucking year just based on the roster, right? So you play 50 games a year, you space them out, you say, okay, you can't play any back-to-back games, and you can't play more than 4 games a week. What's wrong with that? I don't get it. Why is this such a big issue? Well, we're not going to make as much money. I'm sorry, but your players are fucked up. You're not going to make as much money if your players retire either. So you got to play this pretty fucking easy, don't you? You can't just come down and shit on people, even though I think you should, because the only reason why they have all of this shit that they have is because the NBA is the organization that it is. So you fucking tell me. But and let's get into the power ranking. Let's talk about this. Who's number 1? I bet you can guess. The Golden State Warriors. So they were 5th. They were 6th in the power rankings or something before that because KD left. And so they've started winning games. They started being more comfortable. Blah blah blah. And now they're back to number 1. The Spurs. They're good. They're a great team. What are you going to say? Their defense is amazing. They who cares if they're right behind Golden State? If they stay behind Golden State, they'll end up playing them in the fucking Western Conference Finals. Number 3 is the Rockets. The Rockets are a ticking time bomb in my opinion. You cannot maintain the shooting percentage during the playoffs that you can during the regular season. It has been proven time and time again. The reason why the Warriors are having such an issue in the playoffs is because of that very same reason. The difference between the Warriors and the Rockets is that the Warriors had, at the time, Bogut in the middle who was defending in the rim and guarding the paint. And then you got the dick kicker. The Houston Rockets don't have somebody who's really good at guarding in the paint, which is why they're at the very bottom of the rankings when it comes to allowing points in the paint, and they don't have a dick kicker because there's only a couple of those. Number 4, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the first question on the ESPN website in the power rankings list is, how seriously do the Cavs take the regular season? This has been the Spurs thing. It's been the Cavs thing. Any good team. We don't take the regular season. The Lakers for a while, we're just going to coast, man. We're just going to get through it. We're going to sit when we need to sit. We're going to do this. This is how you play basketball in 2017. It doesn't matter about the regular season if you can just win enough games to get into the playoffs and you have LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, you're going to go far. They don't even have to get the 1 seed in the East, and they're going to do fine. The Jazz are coming back. Great. The Celtics, awesome. Nobody gives a fuck about these guys. Nobody cares, and nobody expects them to win anything. The Thunder are way up in the fucking... I don't understand why the Thunder are way up at 9. Great. I don't buy it. I don't buy that we can't reduce the number of regular season games because all of them are so important. Brr. Have you guys been watching the World Baseball Classic? This shit gets better every fucking year. It's getting better and better. These guys, baseball has figured this shit out. It's only been since 2003 or something since they started this. No, maybe not even that long. But so Puerto Rico won last night in an amazing 11-inning game against the Netherlands, and Correa, of course, my Astros, scores the winning run, dude. Oh man, it was just a fucking great game. These guys, it's great to watch. They are on it's like this weird thing. I was thinking about it, and it's kind of like soccer, and so soccer has a regular season where you've got your teams, but during the regular season, and this is during spring training, so it's not an exact analogy, but during the regular season, they'll go off to play for their country's team or whatever for some cup of some sort. And the cups are fascinating. And then you learn more and more about these players from their different countries, and they go, who does that guy play for? And then you follow that guy, and you just discovered a new team. It's genius. It's really genius. I'm not a big soccer fan. I never talk about soccer other than, playing FIFA on my Xbox, but this is fantastic, man. This is great baseball. I can't wait to see the USA play tonight. Win or lose, they've had a great season. In the World Baseball Classic. All these MLB stars playing in their home countries is fucking fantastic. I love to see it. All these Japanese dudes that are coming in and looking really good and playing great. I hope they come to the MLB so I can watch them, just like, Ichiro and all those other guys. It's just riveting to watch, and it matters, and the crowd is electric, and everybody's got their cell phones up, and you can see it, and it's just great. If you haven't watched one of these games, take some time, find out when this next game's coming up, and watch it. You will, if you like baseball at all, you will love this, and it's just exciting. For some reason, Tebow is still in baseball news. The news being that, he got sent down to a low A club. Well, that's not news. There's no other player. There's no other player in the history of baseball that has gotten a news story, because no other rookie baseball player, this is his first year in the league, that's got a news story because he went to a low A ball club. But it's Tim Tebow, and everybody fucking loves him. The guy's hitting fucking 200, for God's sakes. 4 hits, 20 at bats in 7 games. He made a good catch. He got a couple hits. Great. He sucks. He's terrible. He's too big to fucking get his arms around. He's going to have to slim down. He's got a lot of work to do just physically on his mechanics. If you watch this guy fucking play, it is just it's just not good baseball. The guy's not good. Can we just admit that Tim Tebow's not going to play professional sports at a high level anymore? The guy does a lot of good things for a lot of people in need, and let's celebrate him for those things. Let's write a story about how Tim Tebow is saving the world because he's super fucking man. Great. I don't want to fucking read a story about Tim Tebow playing baseball or football or basketball or highlight. I don't give a fuck. It's infuriating how this guy, there's baseball players desperately trying to make it who have dedicated their entire lives to baseball, and we're talking about fucking Tebow. Oy, oy, oy. That being said, I've got like a week or two until my baseball draft. What I'm going to do is try to, I'm going to record the entire thing. I'm not going to put the entire, because it's going to take like 2 or 3 hours. I'm not going to put the whole thing up. What I'm going to do is clip it out to my picks, and if I hear anything really funny or whatever, interesting, I'll put that up. You're not going to hear anybody else talking. It'll probably just be me. But I'm going to try to record that, and we're also going to do that for the football draft. We're actually going to put up a camera for the draft, because those guys, we actually do a live draft. The baseball draft is going to be over the internet, but the live draft for football is a great time. Even though it takes 3 or 4 hours, I can piecemeal it together. So that's those are my rantings for this week. I also put together some teaser, like trailer things for the YouTube channel. So check out the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. It's free for you to hit subscribe, okay? It doesn't cost you anything but a little energy. Go to the Twitter page @RatedRSportsPod and give us a like. Send me an email, or get onto the website there. Send me an email. Tell me what you think. Dude, you suck. Quit your job. Quit your podcast. Whatever you feel like saying, just say it. And do whatever the fuck makes you feel good, you know? So send that shit in to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Look us up. Rated R Sports Pod. We'll see you next week.